All right, everyone, let's do a quick update on Bitcoin. We did have a new monthly candle open. We see that so far we have opened this monthly candle as a green candle, and it seems like it's having a bit of a strong bullish pressure. Now, let's not forget that we do have all of the tariff announcements today. That's around 4 p.m. New York time. So we'll see what goes on with that. Let's see where that leads us to. But as of now, let's get back to Bitcoin. So the monthly is opening up pretty strong, still in this uprising channel. Let's drop down to the daily. Not much has changed really. We had that bearish daily break here. We had the SFP down here, which creates this as a strong low, and you're going to target the liquidity up higher. So I would like to see this high taken before a move down, but it doesn't necessarily have to do that. We don't always have to come back to the targeted high. On the daily, if you were to draw your structure from the down up, we do have an internal break of structure. I don't really mess with internal and fractal structure. I just like to come down to the appropriate time frame, which for me would be like a 4-6 hour. So we did have a 4-hour bearish break of structure. And what do we get after a break of structure? We usually get a pullback. So currently we are getting that pullback. Let's see where we're at now. We are actually in a daily order block. We also had a fresh weekly level right there. However, we have this 12-hour order block with the naked point of control and a daily, as well as a smaller order block up ahead. And we have poor highs that were created here that we have been waiting to sweep this liquidity. So I don't necessarily think that this is going to hold, especially with the tariffs this afternoon. Who knows what's going to happen? We might see a quick flash up, then down, depending on the news. Or if the news comes out bullish and comes out strong, we might see this thing just continue higher. So we'll have to wait and see. And we just need to pay attention to our levels and to see if we get those confirmations at our levels. We're not trying to predict price. We always want to react to price and look for our confirmations. So if we had some nice levels get hit. We had this 4-hour order block, which did give us a nice confirmation for a quick down move. We had a quick short, and as you can see, structure is going like this. So here we are so far. So we've pretty much just making a demand chain going up higher, and we are coming back. Each break of structure leads to a nice pullback, break of structure, nice pullback. This is what we want to see with nice market structure. Every time we get that pullback, we have had nice entries on the longs as well as the shorts if you're into the counter trading this 4-hour uptrend. We did have a very nice looking accumulation model here, as well as a smaller one on a smaller time frame here. We also had one here. It was, you can see it more in the 5, 10, 15 minute, but you had this nice rounded accumulation model and the perfect, you had like a range, and the initiation out of that range came back to mitigate that range for the strong continuation to break this high. So these lows are doing their jobs by breaking it each high so far. So we want to follow that trend up. Let's pull back once more to see what we can see here. Now, something else to pay attention to is a potential Wyckoff model in this area. This could be the first signs of a Model 2 distribution. We'll have to wait and see signs of confirmation in this range. However, I would still like it to come up to this high right here to take out that poor high. And if we can come up to this area and then have a confirmation from this order block, I would prefer that, because I love to see the extreme liquidity of this range get taken out before a further downside. So are we going to see that structure hold? Meaning, let's say if we go in the 8 hour, let's hide all of these levels really quick. So what I'm talking about here is, are we going to continue to see this for a new low? We should know very shortly if this high gets broken or not right here. So if this high gets broken, you're going to flip bullish on the daily. And, well, needless to say, that's going to be pretty bullish. However, on a higher time frame, we can flip bullish to come back, because lower time frame structural always have to flip bullish to get that retest zone back in here to then continue the bearish structure. So even on the 3-day, we SFP'd that low. The weekly is the same. So yes, we could come all the way back into this range, even SFP this high, and still go lower. So what are we looking for next? Really, at this point in time, we are just taking it level by level, following market structure and watching our confirmations based on market structure, liquidity, supply and demand, and Wyckoff. So again, we're going to check out these levels here when we get there. Right now, we're just kind of stalling. 15-minute market structure just broke here. So will we have a pullback into this area and continue to go higher? Or we could just keep one time framing up. Let's check the 30-minute. Yes, on the 30-minute from this low here, we are one time framing. So we just have to keep our eyes on a bearish confirmation, because we're coming into this with just a huge bullish candle. There's no structure to be had just yet. This would be your 5-minute low to watch for a break. But in reality, what we want to see is some structure get created and have something like this here. It could be in this range, or it could go ahead and come up and take this poor high out into this order block. And that would be my preferred, that would be my preferred setup, would be this right here. You come out, completely wipe out these order blocks here, mitigate this order block, all the while mitigating and cleaning that poor high. And then we get that bear structure break for the confirmation to the downside. However, if we get really bullish, you will want to see, we've already had our break here. So we'll want to see a pullback and then have it mitigate an order block around this area here. So this would technically be your last range supply. And you do have a 30-minute order block. That lines up very nicely with that point of control. So we're going to set an alert here to see if we can get in a continuation long if it continues to do so. We're going to take this daily order block off because it's just a little too messy. We're going to take this one off. These have already gotten mitigated. We do not need those on our charts anymore. So this is the area to watch for a continuation long. And I actually like this smaller one better. So we are going to take that one off. Let's look for 45 minutes. Do you have a 45 block? We'll tag that as a 3-hour block. That way you're pretty much taking up that whole demand range. Okay, so that gives us what we're going to be looking out for today in the local as well as the macro. So as we progress, I'll be making some more updates to update the charts, update the levels, and to further detail any potential trade setups that we have, as well as any recaps on any trades that I take.